Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show.
Good evening.
And tonight we start off with talking about a rocket launch that went wrong last week, didn't it, Colin?
So I believe.
Yeah. Yes, it destroyed the pad.
It's not a good way to start.
Well, let's just say the structure of the framework's still intact, but it left a massive crater. And when it went up, and it kept going up, and then went out of control. Yep, and then it went out of control, and bang. But that's what happens when you have a prototype, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but overall, it was a very interesting launch. But now, now they've just got to rebuild the pad and wait until, they get permission to do the next one.
Yeah, hopefully build the pad a little bit better this time so it doesn't get destroyed if they have to blow the ship again.
Well, it didn't really blow the ship. I think it knocked out most of the engines, but it, caused it to go out of control. And the thing is that the pictures I've seen, right, is absolutely surprising. Just give me a second and just saying hello. Shall we say hello to everyone in the chat first?
Hello, Wendy, Darren. Hello, Edge of Time. Welcome.
Yep, welcome everybody. Yes, it was an unmanned launch. That's the best thing for a rocket. You never send people up in it unless you're absolutely that bonkers. So if I bring up, is it Starship? Give me a second. Right, where's that image?
If they start playing We Built This City, you know it's the wrong Starship.
Yes. Hail, PJ. Well,
been bonkers for years. What sort of question is that?
Yeah.
PJ was going to be bonkers, yes, but
of course we are bonkers. That's the way it is, right? So if I bring it up, Boca Chica. Actually, got it. Rocket launch aftermath, I think. I'm trying to find a decent picture of the massive crater that was left. But the problem is, everyone's just got pictures of the rocket launch, but they didn't have a picture of the solid crater. Oh, here we are. Moon crater, no. Right, this picture is on behalf of the Philostar.com, which hasn't got a decent picture. Everyone's got pictures, but it's like it's not showing the right pictures.
Showing the launch, but not the aftermath.
Oh, here we go. We've got a decent one here. Take a look at this, everybody. As soon as the freaking presets work. Uh-oh. Right, okay, if I just... My computer's not having it tonight, I think. And that is what's left. So it's really done a number.
Looks a bit burnt, but without knowing what it looked like beforehand, that's not that easy to tell exactly what the difference, what the damage is. Oh, it looks burnt. It's obviously burnt, but
Yeah. It's just the crater I'm trying to find. Now, you see here, right? Get rid of bloody cookies. You see here, that's how much bent it caused to the tank farm.
Yeah, so I don't know how far away those tanks are, but bloody hell.
I know. And they're 4-story type buildings. They are 4-story type buildings, and it just really makes you laugh. Ah, here's a good one. Right, get rid of that. Take a look at there.
Wow.
All that from 8 seconds into launch.
Well, I reckon they're going to have to rebuild the entire pad by the looks of it.
They need to stick in a flame diver by the looks of it. But overall, you know, this is what happens when you do test launches. It's into the unknown.
Yeah, you test them to see what's going to go wrong.
Oh yes. Now, for anybody who didn't see the clip that I posted on Twitter, here it is. So I've added a sound effect to it. So, Colin, overall, after this launch and that now, and now they're going to get the test flight data back and everything, what do you think the chances that they are going to make it successfully into orbit properly?
Well, I have no idea. Hopefully, they manage to. I mean, once they know what the problems are, they know if possible. Done it a few times by now.
Well, they've just reopened the area again, and you know, it's everyone's just going trying to pick up souvenirs, which is funny as hell. But they're not going to go all the way out into the Gulf of Mexico just to pick up parts of the rocket.
No, it was launching Florida again, was it?
No, it was not launching Florida. It was launching Texas.
Oh,
Boca Chica, just not far from the Mexican border. So, but anyhow, all I can say is I hope the next rocket launch does well when they fix the pad and finally ironed out all the kinks and problems and everything that goes with it.
yeah, hopefully.
But the way I see it, that launch pad is not going to be fixed in 1 to 2 months unless they work around the clock.
I thought they were likely to actually rebuild it, build it somewhere else. Well, shift it along a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, they could do, but the problem is that took about a year to do, really, try and assemble everything together.
Oh, they might not have much choice.
Yeah, that's true. But anyhow, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen Star Trek? Actually, anyone in the chat seen Picard yet?
Oh, I'll say, have I seen Star Trek? You'll have to specify. Picard, no.
Yeah. So you haven't seen it?
Nope.
Well, I don't really want to bring up any clips or anything like that, but all I can say is that what an ending to an episode that was.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. I might actually watch it. I don't know. So, which is not something I ever thought I'd ever say about modern Star Trek.
Well, it's nostalgia bait, isn't it? With
Well, I'll rephrase that. What they call Star Trek, but really, a lot of it isn't.
Some is, some isn't. You never know. Well, all I can say is that yes, we saw the Enterprise D again, especially in the episode I think 9, where Patrick Stewart, I think, broke character and gave a speech to the rest of his fellow cast members, and he goes, "The only thing I miss more was the carpet." So, yes, Wendy, you should take a look at it. Should give it a look. They should have brought out back Tasha as a Romulan daughter. Yeah, they could have done that. Send your ideas into them, PJ. They might get made.
Yeah, but aren't they back to the idiots who fecked everything up now? Because the one guy that was actually made anything worthwhile is now gone, and they've realised, oh shit, he was good.
Well, the thing is, I think they've just gone out with one last hurrah. That's the way I see it. It's just one last hurrah, and that's it.
Well, Pat, we still got one season of Disgracery left, so
yeah, but who watches that?
About 12 people.
I know you got Strange New Worlds out in June. You've got Prodigy in the winter, and you've got Lower Decks out in late summer.
Wow. Again, not anything I've seen in it. Well, I think I saw about a quarter of an hour of Lower Deck. Not Lower Decks. Whichever the one with Pike was.
Strange New Worlds.
That's it, yeah.
So nothing good then. No, not a lot. Not a lot. But anyhow, it's just whatever Terry Metalis does next. I'm just hoping that they're going to do like a legacy TV series, and not make a bleeding disgracery of it. But that's up to them. Because if they find out, wait a minute, Picard season 3, the last 2 episodes done more better than the entire Star Trek franchise, we just realised something.
Yeah, they just probably won't, are they capable of taking the message?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the question.
That's true. But on another note, Mandalorian season 3, no. Also, good news. Well, some good news for Doctor Who.
What?
Murray Gold, the composer's returning.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
Yeah. So hopefully we've got some good music this time.
I must admit the music's not what put me off, but
no. Right, I see it. Murray Gold just went on a long vacation.
Right, so what Murray Gold's come back? It means one more while we're saying it's actually real Doctor Who in the last 5 years didn't exist.
Good point. Good point.
If even Chimballs expect everything to be ignored and bypassed.
Depends what they're going to do with the next season and the 60th anniversary.
Yeah, that's the thing. I suspect the 60th is going to be it's probably going to be okay. What happens after that is, signs aren't good.
No.
Although, how much of that is to do with the media's portrayals and the rest of it? Is that another matter?
Yes,
The media thinks everybody wants this.
This is why I don't trust the media. This is why I don't really watch the news and that anymore. So, right. Any questions from the chat panel out there tonight?
No, right, good. Good night. Good night.
All right. Take care, everyone. Oh God! Do you know what I've been watching recently? Because they're just posting back on YouTube. Well, posting on YouTube episodes of Dave Allen at Large. Yeah.
I've seen a few of those ones.
Yeah, but it's I'm surprised the guy's got the entire collection.
Yeah.
Still think it's going to be crap. What do you mean by that, Doctor Who?
What else? Yes. Well, so I said, it's the magical 8 Ball says signs not looking good.
You're talking about the magic 8 Ball.
Yeah. But you don't know. It depends. I think it depends if Russell T Davis's love for Doctor Who and his ego, the fact he's brought everything back, is going to outweigh his political opinions and his disappointment that the world hasn't gone the way he wanted it to.
Everyone's disappointed to the way the world hasn't gone to.
No, just like, fuck, it hasn't gone the way he wanted it to, but it's not more. No.
Well, we're not trying to make it political tonight, folks, because, we don't like to talk about politics on here. But frankly, I think we're running out of things to say.
You didn't see us go off Friday evening. No, you mentioned it on Saturday, PJ, about the forbidden archaeology. I want to keep up on some of those.
Even if I could spell. Well, frankly, I've just been watching stuff on YouTube. I've been watching mostly some Jerry Anderson shows and some other shows from the past. I did watch Ant-Man Quantumania a while back. I didn't think much of that.
A lot of people didn't.
Nor Shazam. Frankly, I just feels like you're running out of things to watch these days.
Well, there was. I mean, I've noticed a couple of things down there. I reckon that things aren't looking good for Guardians of the Galaxy. So, it's not superhero. It's not people getting tired of superheroes. They're getting tired of crap movies that do nothing but message at them. And they get what gets me is stupid. I mean, part of it is because it's a built-in delay.
Yeah,
but is the Marvels out yet?
No, not till November.
They're still see, I don't even know if these things are out or not. I've got that little interest in them, but they seem to be, oh wow, oh look, it's an all-girl cast. Sorry, have you heard the phrase MCU? Did you ever work out why we call it that? Yeah. I think that's the problem. Is that people are getting tired of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, well, look at Mario, right? The Super Mario Brothers film.
Yeah.
right? Is this the new rebirth of the computer game films?
Could be. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
could do, but then again, yeah, but games, but the Dungeons and Dragons movie didn't do that well. So
No.
different sort of games, but I mean, you could do. Well, I mean, you imagine. I mean, under competent direction,
Mm-hmm.
Fallout will be an excellent series of movies. You could have, you could literally have a Fallout universe.
I think that is on the horizon.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been mentioned or suggested.
See, think of it this way: we've had the Resident Evils.
Yeah,
We've had Silent Hill.
never played or saw that.
We've had a few, to name a few that I can't remember the names of. We've had Tomb Raider, yeah, but now then it moved over to the superhero genre, and now it feels like it's going back to the computer game genre.
Maybe, yeah.
It's just it just don't feel the same that we haven't gone back to the actual action hero genre.
Well, the problem, but the thing is, you look at it, you look at all the complaints apparently there have been about the Super Mario Brothers thing. Complaints about from certain sides of the aisle that that are they going to actually get, what sort of games would they play, and could they actually what sort of movies would they make of them? I mean, I don't think I ever played any of the Mario Brothers games, but sort of platformers and that sort of thing. And
the thing is about Mario, it's got such a huge back catalogue. Like that compared to Sonic the Hedgehog, it really, really just makes you laugh.
Well, again, it's another example, Sonic, isn't it? Because it came out and people had it didn't come out. The previews came out and it got dumped upon from a great height for the quality and the style.
Yes.
So they changed it and people went out and supported it, even if they weren't necessarily going to, they might not have done in the first place, but because they went out to support it, because the people in charge had actually taken on board what had been said and said, okay, yeah, fine, we get what you're saying. We hear what you're saying. They hadn't said, oh, you're just an istophobe. They'd said, okay, we get what you're saying. You may know about this, more about this than we do, and we'll make appropriate changes.
Yeah.
As a result of which I think both Sonic movies did very well. I've not seen them myself, didn't appeal to me, but I think they both did very well.
My boy has been a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog. I do like Super Mario and all. It's just back in '93 when they did, the live action one. It didn't do so well.
Well, the question, I mean, the other thing, of course, is though that it's still a case of, okay, how many films are there? I mean, you turn around and you see, like Disney announced this, you think, okay, fine. Have you actually got a new idea? I think they're getting to the point. I think Disney getting to the point. Someone's making a fantastic meme. But no, Disney going to get to a point where they're going to go, okay, we've only got one movie left to make live action. Oh shit, it's Song of the South. And I really want to see their heads spin when they realise live action. We need to redo that. The only one we've got left is Song of the South.
Song of the South was part live action.
Yeah. But everything they've redone is they've redone it and they've redone it. I wonder how many. I mean, what was it? I saw someone suggest they were doing the Twilight movies or something, and they're not that old.
Yeah, they're turning it into a TV series.
How old was this? Is it? I don't know. I've not seen any of the Disney kids for a very long time because I don't have kids, and I've not had any not been particularly interested because they're aimed at kids and families. So I've not seen any of these animated things since. Well, I saw the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
I didn't see live action. I've seen The Sword in the Stone. No,
Yeah, that's a good
I've seen
one.
Robin Hood. I couldn't tell you what the last Disney animated kids movie I saw was, but why do they have to just redo them as live action and change everything? You know, they've got no creativity left.
I don't understand. It just, as you said, they've got no creativity left, right? But I think sometimes Disney is generally going in the wrong direction when compared to what it was doing back in the 20th century. And Colin's just muted his mic for a minute, probably having a good old sneezing fit, right?
Close.
Out of it. No, it's just when Walt was around, and like from the 80s into the 90s, they had some great material. But and think of it this way, right? How many crap Disney movies have there been in the past compared to,
Probably very few. I mean, I think the last, if you sort of, yeah, exactly. When did I got what was the last new thing that was actually made? And okay, yes, Top Gun Maverick, but sorry, that was a 30-year-old sequel itself. I mean, it did a hell of it, did very well. But the John Wick movies do very well. But okay, the fact that we're now on John Wick 4.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you. All moving, doing the chores, and so I can't chat. Listening. Cheers, mates. Thanks, Cam. You have a good one.
I think that I'm trying. I mean, if you sort of say Disney as opposed to stuff that Disney gobbled up like that Bob Iger gobbled up like Disney film, I remember seeing and enjoying was John Carter. And I'm one of the few people that actually enjoyed John Carter. And then Disney screwed that up so bad. You had a minimum 11 or 12 book movie series they could have done there, and they screwed it up so. Although technically speaking, the film was actually probably based on the first 2 books, in part. So, but they just ruined it. They ruined it, and marketing that ruined it.
Right. Well, I'm just gonna look at the back catalogue of Walt Disney Pictures at the moment, right?
I don't do the cinema, but I can't. I mean, I'm honestly trying to think of anything.
Well,
I've heard of recently that's original.
Look what they had. Right. Look what they had in the 30s and 40s. Right.
Oh good Lord.
They had Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Pinocchio, Fantasia, which is a bloody good film. The Reluctant Dragon, Dumbo, Bambi, Seleucus Amigos. That's interesting. Probably a short anthology film. Victory Through Air Power. That was a documentary. The Three Casperi. Make Mine Music, Song of the South.
What you mean?
Fun and Fancy Free. These were I think anthology. They called them anthology films.
Well, some of them were, yeah. Well, I mean, when I was a kid, this is what really makes me laugh. When I say what really, really, really made me laugh, ironic, unquote, Lion King came out. You know, all those superbly trained talking lines that I'd actually got. Was that way back when I was a kid, and PJ will probably remember this, when you had Disney type, you alternated between clips of classic cartoons and Disney bloody wildlife movies. They had an entire wildlife studio that made good wildlife stuff.
Yeah. So moving on, we had Cinderella, Treasure Island, Alice in Wonderland, The Story of Robin Hood, Peter Pan, The Sword and the Rose. Now, these were made in a co-production with RKO. The Living Desert, Rob Roy, The Highlands Rogue, The Vanishing Prairie, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. That's a compilation film. Lady and the Tramp, The Littlest Outlaw, The Great Locomotive Chase, Davy Crockett and the River Pirates.
Well, several of those, again, quite a few of those, I think, sounded as if they would have been documentaries, or, you know, like either sort of nature documentaries.
You had Secrets of Life, Westward Ho, The Wagons, Johnny Tremaine, Perry, Old Yeller, The Light in the Forest, White Wilderness, Tonka, Sleeping Beauty, The Shaggy Dog, Darby Gill and the Little People. Now, if nobody remembers that with Sean Connery pre-Bond, where have you been hiding? Zorro the Avenger.
How many of those could they? How many of those have they remade? And how many of those could they remake?
Well, I mean, the thing is, I think the animation ones have been remaked.
Yeah, just all of them. And we know that they're not going to be the same because we've heard they're remaking. Is it Snow White? Sleeping Beauty they're remaking, and she ain't gonna, and she don't need no man.
Yeah,
you know, what did they reckon?
Really want to stay away from that at the moment.
What was it? Oh, it was a Little. I say again, I've never seen the Little Mermaid. But it was a Little Mermaid. They were saying they've noticed that they've now changed it so that, and this is one thing I must admit, I can almost understand. Hey, Dan, man, that apparently in the original it was the prince that killed the bad guy, the bad woman, and in the remake, Ariel does it. Now, actually, I can sort of say, okay, I can understand that because it's not the Prince Eric movie, it's the Little Mermaid, and Ariel is it. It's Ariel's story, so you know you kind of would expect the protagonist to be the one that takes out the antagonist. So changing that on its own, I can sort of almost say, yeah, I mean it's her movie, not his. Not a case of she's not not being saved by the man. You know, she doesn't need to be saved by the man, all the rest of it. But most of it, again, it's just. Oh, I'll have to check. I haven't been on Discord in a while. No, man. Cheers, mate. I'll check later on. It's about 5 minutes of Discord to load up on my laptop, unfortunately.
Okay, well, think of it this way. I think it started to go downhill probably in the 2000s. Right? Because then they started doing sequels to all their animated projects.
Yeah.
And then after that, it just was started to go down and down and down and down and down and down because in the 2000s, they were knocking out quite a lot compared to what they were, you know, knocking out back then. But in the 70s, what I can see here, they had like a huge explosion of films, live action and animated, right? It's not all the time that you see, what was the film? They made The Black Hole, right? Yeah. They made a number of sequels to Herbie, aka The Love Bug.
Yep.
They did a film called Candle Shoe.
Yep. With very young Jodie Foster
and David Niven. You know, you had another one called Boatniks, right? And that had Phil Silvers in it, Stephanie Powers and Robert Morse. And they were kind of like proper comedy movies. Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. I'm so glad they haven't remade that yet. It's just they had an explosion in the 70s and far right to 60s. I think they were picking up the pace, especially with Mary Poppins. Now, I've got to say, I do like Mary Poppins Returns because that was a good film.
Not seen it. I don't go see Mary Poppins.
Now,
There's a lot of these quote classics I've never seen, quite classic books I've never read. They just never appealed to me. But
well, work this one out, right? You've got Popeye and Dragon Slayer, right? Made in the 80s.
Yep.
The Black Cauldron.
Yep.
You know, Oliver and Company, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you name a few. It was back then. It was like a huge explosion of decent films.
Yeah, it was.
But now it's. I don't know if they've lost its way or not, but I do like the Peter Pan and Wendy film that's supposed to be coming out, so I want to give that a watch. The Little Mermaid.
What, the race for everybody one?
What, in Peter Pan and Wendy?
Yeah.
They haven't really. No, they haven't. Well, the race swap.
What you mean? Well, Tinkerbell's black. Half of the lost boys are girls, despite the fact that the whole point was that girls couldn't become lost.
I never noticed that in the trailer.
Yeah, there's one bit in there where you're not seeing it. She comes up with the lost boys and she says, "But you're all girls." So, despite the fact the whole point in the original in the book was that they lost boys because they fell out of their cots, and girls are too intelligent to do that. So what they're basically saying is by making half the lost boys girls, they're saying that girls were stupid as boys.
Yeah. Well,
because they're pushing their ideas rather than they're pushing their ideals. The answer to your problem is what's happened to them is what's happened to most of them. They've been invaded and they now decided to be political rather than entertaining.
Yeah, but I think the way I see it is that Disney got their hold on major properties.
Yeah, and screwed them over.
If they didn't get hold of Marvel or, buy at 20th Century Fox, because back then it was all in-house, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, most of it was theirs. Well, I think the thing is, I think that is it Iger was the one that did all these purchases and he bought these things, and everyone, Disney buy things and oh god, it's a Disney, which is why everything nowadays, nearly anything that Disney has taken over is always referred to as Disney Star Wars, Disney Marvel and the rest of it, because it's so different from what the original was. So taking it over, and unfortunately, they seem to have gone a weird way. They seem to have gone a way that seems very odd, weird, and message bashing to a lot of people. Let's put it that way.
I think, in my own honest opinion, I think Disney should come to a major standstill with the whole films and TV projects and just stick to the parks for the time being. That's what I see in my own opinion.
Well, there's I'm on noticing, was it? I was just noticing what's going on. I think Clownfish, I think, was someone dropping Busy Sanders. Yeah. Disney fires thousands of employees after pushing fans away. Oh no, so that's why Canal. That's one part of it. But yeah, so it's been a lot of there's been a lot, and they reckon there's wave after wave of sackings because they can't afford people anymore. Because they are just driving people away because people are just not watching their stuff, and it doesn't help that they stop their main advertising strategy these days seems to be to drive people away.
So what they should do is get rid of the advertisers.
They should stop stop saying if you don't like it. They should stop saying if you don't like this or finish the phone. Or multiple. If you don't like this, don't watch it. Then wondering why people don't come and watch it. Get the hint. People don't like it, but they don't seem to be able to do that, from what I can see. You know, I mean, they say this. I mean, they come up with ideas like, okay, it's really gets me. They come up with ideas like, oh, you can't write what you don't know. You can't. Okay, fine. So in that case, you can stop. Okay, so how can you do Pinocchio? Because no one knows what it's like to be a puppet that becomes a real live boy. You can't do the Lion King because none of you know what it's like to be a lion, or any other jungle animal. You know, do this sort of stuff. You can't have She-Hulk because with the greatest respect to Tatiana Maslany, she doesn't know what it's like. How can she play someone who's got radioactive blood, to a big green slut, when she is certainly not big and green, and I would not wish to impugn the lady's morals either. You know, how can, you know, they come up with it, and then they argue and say, if you don't like it, it's not made for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then who is it made for, and why aren't they going to watch it? Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to say much about this anymore, because the thing is, I rather just the old Disney style, really.
Yeah, I agree. The ironic thing is that Disney was probably best when Walt was still alive, and Walt Disney certainly had apparently had a number of let's say flaws.
Well, at the moment, the joke's going around that he's turning in his freezer of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I think it's just his head, because I think he was one of the ones they based the Futurama thing was based on.
What, a head in the jar?
Yeah, I think it's just his head that was frozen. I could be wrong.
Well, I just don't want to go down the whole political thing again, Colin. The whole thing, but modern Disney. Yeah. The thing, I prefer classic Disney. Because the other night I was watching the two Ronnies, and they really went. This was like the last Christmas show for Ronnie Barker, and they really went over budget when they took the piss out of Pinocchio and called it Pinocchio 2. You know, and the way they had their production, but they even had Charlton Heston in as a cameo.
Wow.
I know. And he was taking a piss.
Yeah.
He was filming next door at the time, but it's just, it really looked like a Disney production. The way the two Ronnies, presented it.
Well, I mean, Disney used to be the gold standard.
Yeah.
They really did used to be the gold standard for family entertainment.
Yes.
When you think about it, you're not alone. How many people do we know in our sphere of interest, shall we say, who say, I don't watch anything new. I only watch the old stuff because the new stuff's so different. How many people say they've not rewatched any of New Who? Not just the last 5 years, but anything since 2005, since it came back. How many people?
Yeah.
How many people? How many people said that they've not bothered with any of the Marvel movies after Endgame?
I do watch. Yeah. See, I still do watch the Marvel properties, right? Because I just want to know how the hell is this story is supposed to be unfolding. Most of that stuff goes over my head when it comes to political agenda and everything else. I just think, just get on with it. Right? The thing is, the long story still, I still do enjoy a good old-fashioned Disney movie. You know, my brother still watches Disney films, right? I still keep hearing Bedknobs and Broomsticks playing on in the background sometimes. But does this whole political thing affect him? No, it doesn't.
Well, no, I mean, exactly.
Hello, we just lost the chat for a minute.
Did we?
Yeah. Chat disconnected. Please wait a while until reconnected. For anyone still watching, sorry, we can't bring up any messages. The chat's disconnected. Unless YouTube's pulling the plug on our show because we mentioned Disney. Let's check. Nope, we're still broadcasting.
Oh, yeah, it's successfully reconnected, I think.
Well, something's up.
Yeah, I think he's back up now. Yeah, there we are.
Good.
It's good to know it's just my computer when I clock back in to see it.
You're probably right, PJ.
Yeah.
Look, the thing is, I still like good old stories, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's old or new. Have you tried turning it on? Nice one, Darren. Nice one. I just like good stories, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, the thing is, I haven't finished getting through this at the moment because I'm not even partly like, you know, but I am reading the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
But I'm taking my time with it.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's what appeals to you and what people we all different things appeal to each of us. But yeah, right. I mean, the thing is, it's the storytelling.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem. I mean, I was watching earlier on this evening. Critical Drinkers just dropped a.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
Running through. I mean, I've not seen season 3, but running through the fact that apparently about half of episode 2 seemed to be completely and utterly irrelevant. It seemed to be completely filler. Everything done slowly to spread as much time as possible. You know, that's
what the whole point of the Mandalorian is.
Yeah,
but go off the side track at the moment.
Yeah, but I mean, if going off on a side quest isn't a problem, you know, it's when it's when you find yourself clicking saying, okay, go, okay, click forward, I'm there, yeah, okay. The storytelling doesn't seem to be something that is done that well these days. It seems to be, I don't know about a dying art, but you know, a lot of the stuff seems to be a case of, okay, so, and okay, can we please get on with it? You know,
thing is there a lack of imagination in the world?
Yes, definitely.
Everyone's eyes have been pulled over by with what's going on.
I think, I agree. I definitely agree. I think there is indeed, as you say, there is a lack of thought, I don't know if it's a lack of talent or what, but it seems to be that, of course, there's only certain films do extremely well. The problem is, it just seems to be the sort of movies that some sorts of movies, that are the more old, what we might call the more old-fashioned storytelling seems to be what actually works these days. Seems to be what is actually
the reason why Disney is making like stuff in live action is because they couldn't do that back then because they didn't have CGI and all this and that.
Yeah, but why
It was great when they blended animation with, live action.
Yeah, but I think some things I don't think work as live action. I mean, I think, for example, for me, for example, I mean, I've seen clips of, I've not seen either of the Beauty and the Beast movies.
I haven't
But
seen Beauty and the Beast. I've seen the first one, but I haven't seen
I
the
think, for example, the talking teapots and singing or whatever work okay in cartoon, but if you try and do it live action,
It
that
doesn't
I
work.
think looks weird because
Yeah.
if it's in if someone's animated, you know it's animated, it somehow, it's there's a different level of reality, if you like. But usually something that's live action, you think, okay.
Yeah, because the thing is with
What?
Beauty and the
No, so yeah, go on.
Yeah. Oh god, the chat's disconnected again. Here we go again. Right. No, what it is with Beauty and the Beast, I like the original, right? Because you say you're about talking teapots, right? And cups and saucers. How much of an expression does those characters give compared to what they put in live action?
Yeah, well, and it is. And when they say live action, I mean, like I said, prime example that one is okay. Sorry, so you're doing a live. How many of Disney, of the Disney classics, the animated classics, rely on or have as main parts of the story anthropomorphized non-humans? Even some, I mean, okay, so Beauty and the Beast, the Beast, okay, we accept werewolves, for example, in live action, but how much of it relies on? I mean, when I first heard this concept of doing the live action Lion King, I'm thinking, okay, where are they going to get talking lions? How much of it relies on something that is obviously and clearly not only not real, but could not happen in reality.
Yes.
And how much, so once you do it in live action, then I think that's when you start getting, I mean, for me, you start thinking, hold on a minute, that's just a whole, another level of suspension of disbelief gone.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching animated, you've got that suspension of disbelief built in. You watch something that's live action, when actually what they mean is, okay, maybe actors and half of it CGI anyway. I mean, that's what I think is I think that's why, in some ways, why a lot of the storytelling isn't there.
Yeah. So you think of it this way: when they first did the cartoons, right? A lot of hard work was put into it, right?
Yeah.
When CG first came about, a lot of hard work was put into it, and the best CGI film I think is still brilliant to this day is Final Fantasy Spirits Within. But now it seems that CGI is so much like in the here and now. It's like it becomes very cheap to make compared to way back then.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the problem is, I mean, it's a similar thing, I think, that's coming with, it's linked, I think, in some ways, perhaps, to why people are getting, possibly, it may be linked to why the storytelling isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Because they're relying on flashy effects and CGI. I mean, there's a standard trope that these days things aren't made for people to watch; they're made for people to occasionally look up at something that's playing in the background or on the phone. That's not how you tell a story.
No.
There's the storytelling is replaced by, oh look what we can do with our graphics, aren't they cool? Yeah, fine, great, but okay, but yeah, the graphics are fantastic, but you're supposed to be entertaining me, not just showing me how clever you are.
Yes.
You know, so, I mean, I still think that the CGI is best in two places. It's best when you can't see it, so all it's really doing is enhancing actual physical effects, or taking place with something where you can't really do it safely. So
yeah, but I still like practical effects anyway.
Well, yeah, definitely. Or the whole thing is CGI. So the Starship Troopers TV show, right? We did on PJ a while ago, didn't we? That's entirely CGI, and that works because it's entirely CGI. It's you accept it. You accept that it's CGI, and your brain just goes CGI. If you get something like a modern superhero movie, half the time you're going, okay, well that's a special effect. That's a special effect.
Yeah.
You know,
compared to when they did Superman.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. PJ Roughnecks is great, and I really wish they'd made that last bloody story. It's so frustrating that they never made the last story.
Well, take it.
Go back to Sunday. That carry on rip off from the Sister Boniface mysteries was "Oh, do behave." So I said I knew there was they did, and it was a catchphrase, and it's so "Oh, do behave, constable," etc., which is why it worked just as well as "Carry On." So I was just looking at something under, but clicked up. But but yeah, exactly. I said, yeah, as I said, I mean, CGI. It's like I recently was replaying Fallout New Vegas. Right? But one of my favorite games was an 8-bit an 8-bit graphics game on Spectrum called Marsball. And you had to have storytelling because you didn't have the great graphics. Now, yes, excellent. You know, other computer games are great, fantastic graphics and the rest of it. But if you don't have the graphics, you've got to rely even more on storytelling. You know, and I think a lot of these days, special effects seems to be taken over in some ways from storytelling.
That's true. That's true. The thing is, I still like practical effects. It's when you blend CGI and practical together, it makes common sense.
Yes.
But when you start over abusing CGI and then you think, oh, for Christ's sake, what is going on with this chat tonight? It keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. I think YouTube's got a problem.
It might have done, yeah.
Interesting. Well, shall we move on to something else, Colin?
Yeah. What do you want to move on to?
Well, okay. Well, the thing is, at the moment, it's just I don't know what else to think of. All I did last week was just watch a rocket launch. You know, watch the final with the Mandalorian and Star Trek Picard. But frankly, I've just run out of things to watch. I don't know what I'm going to be watching this week.
No, me neither.
I mean,
it's a couple of. Some of the things I'm not even sure what days they come out. I just catch them when I find them. But
this is weird. It happened when I was streaming last night too. You got a good point, Dad, man. I think there's something wrong with YouTube.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be disconnecting and reconnected, so something's wrong.
Yeah, it's very odd, isn't it? And maybe the chat, please try again later. Chat disconnected.
I should threaten it with a mallet. What do you think?
That's weird.
Oh, it's coming up now.
Yeah, I was going to say, because
StreamYards maybe. Yeah, it could be.
it's coming up in StreamYards, but not on YouTube. I mean, I've just checked. I'm not delayed on YouTube, and the last YouTube comment I've got is Darren storytelling and the power of myth. Right?
Yeah.
That's what's last on YouTube. But obviously on StreamYard, everything seems to be.
Anyway, I just want to bring this up, Colin, what PJ has come out with. Dangerous looking effects can be done. Look at Harry Lloyd and the Clock Tower, or Laura and Hardy and the High Buildings. Yes, now they were bloody fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were fantastic. They were pioneers of their day. Yes, you're right, Wendy. We should put a hammer on it. Do a Basil 40, yeah. Yeah, okay. So PJ's brought up that, right? About the good old special effects, dangerous stunts. During them days, they knew what they were doing, but they didn't have health and safety back then, did they?
They had health and safety, but it wasn't as over the top, I think you might say, is these days. But yeah.
It's not every day where you have Harold Lloyd, or was it Charlie Chaplin, where they're standing in the correct position.
Yeah.
And the side of the building comes down and they go straight through the window. That is absolutely brilliant.
I think that was Harold Lloyd. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing. Well, yeah, I mean, I know that you look at I've forgotten the chap's name, but there was a guy, very famous
Buster Keaton?
No, it's very famous stuntman doing things like practical stunts, like where he's literally he's leading a team of horse and a coach, and when he literally ends up just gradually sliding back and back and back until he's the other side. Things like this. I think the chap may have been a Native American, but not that that's any relevant. But I think, but I can't remember the guy's name now, unfortunately. But I'd recognise if I saw it. But yeah, again,
it was Buster Keaton who did the window stunt.
Oh, right. Yeah, I thought we had.
Yeah. Nice one.
But yeah, exactly. You're right. I mean, especially practical effects and stunts.
Yeah. Yes. Well, with Jackie Chan, he had cardboard boxes. You know, when he done like stunt work there.
Well, yeah.
It's actually I still like practical effects, right? Yes, I know I'm a big Jerry Anderson fan, but it's not just Jerry Anderson, it's Derek Meddings, you know, because of the work they put in.
Well, yeah.
The other thing is that with CGI, it's not that believable anymore.
It gets to the point where it's being somewhat obvious what it is, and
where it goes beyond the laws of physics.
Yeah. It gets obvious that it's CGI just for the CGI.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, but the thing is, Colin, it throws physics out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you throw physics out the window, and then you think, well, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, the other thing I think also is that people these days, we're saying about storytelling, they don't seem to understand how to tell stories. They don't seem to understand. They don't understand hero's journey. They don't understand in some cases, they don't understand what a hero is. They don't understand, you know, there's a lot of things they don't seem to understand these days.
Yeah.
You said that, PJ, there's I noticed, I haven't watched it, but I noticed someone was doing a YouTube video. It was in my feed. 10 things about the 1966 Batman that they never talk about, that no one ever talks about. And the picture on the front is a match walking up the side of Birdie, and I'm thinking, are you kidding me? Everybody knows about that.
Yeah, because our
You say
celebrities popping
66
out every
Batman,
week.
and you say 66 Batman, and everybody thinks about walking up the side of a building when they're clearly walking along the flat, you know.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, how many celebrities did they have popping out that window every week?
Oh, yeah, but it's they did. I mean, it's yeah, exactly. They did. It's things like that. But you could do again. It was another suspension. Well, no, it wasn't suspension. It was what Batman 66 was, which none, I don't think any of the Batman movies have been. Batman 66 was quite literally a comic.
Yep, especially bat shark repellent.
Yeah, but not only that, but literally to the fact that, can you imagine them doing a Batman movie these days when Batman punches a villain and the word "pow" comes up on screen?
Yeah,
you know, I mean the 60s. Yeah, the 66 Batman was quite literally a cartoon on TV, a comic on TV.
Yeah.
And it was designed as such. You look at the colours, very bright, very primary. Whereas these days they go for drama and.
But I like the dark, nitty-gritty Batman anyway. But with Batman 66, right? It's not every day you see Batman run around with a bomb and he's trying to throw it away.
Yeah, I know. That's great.
Everywhere he turns, you know, there's someone in the way.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, the series was great, and even the film was extremely silly.
And the theme tune is in the lexicon today.
Well, yeah,
you know,
as they say, how does Bruce Wayne's mum call him in for an evening meal? Dinner, Batman.
Yeah, man, yeah.
You know,
when they came up with that theme tune, they must have thought, you know, this is going to go down in history.
They probably didn't. That's the thing. I think again that's another thing that modern creatives, TV are missing. They are trying to do that, and it doesn't work. You cannot direct the lightning.
Yeah,
you know the lightning strikes, and it strikes. Usually, it strikes where it's least expected.
Yes,
you do something, and it will take off.
Yeah,
you try to go for it, which is why you see that. I mean, you see Hollywood. Hollywood is famous for this. They've got, you see a movie does well, and all of a sudden you get five more movies on the same idea, because I think
jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah, they think, oh wow, that was a good movie about an asteroid hitting the Earth.
Yeah, but look what happened. Look what happened.
Not necessarily.
97 and 98, right? We had Armageddon and we had Deep Impact.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you get one of them comes on. Oh, that's in it. Or it's either that, or I suppose the other thing it may be is that, okay, it's an idea which people have at the same time, or it's an idea which is pitched and taken elsewhere. I promise not to mention a certain Star Trek movie, a certain Star Trek series being a rip-off of probably the best science fiction show of the 90s, if not if not of the since. Despite they've even both got numbers in the title, but
yeah,
but you know, it may be. I mean, that was a specific case. You know, it may be, but you know, you see that, and you see, you know, I mean, you see whoever the heck it was that had Marvel before Disney bought them out, have quite a good success with the MCU movies. So
yes,
then
I
you
know,
suddenly,
PJ.
so you suddenly get you suddenly get superhero movies, another big thing. You know, I mean, so, you know, I mean, starts off with, you know, you think about it, it starts off with DC with Superman, the original Christopher Reeve movie.
Yeah, with iconic theme tune.
Yeah. Or
and Christopher Reeve didn't get top billing.
No. Or Russell Crowe brings out Gladiator, and then big historical epics are suddenly back in fashion.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the ironic thing about Gladiator is that it is basically the same story as the film which killed the Hollywood epic,
which was
the rise and the fall of the Roman Empire.
Ah, right.
Fall of the Roman Empire, very similar story, including the fact that the hero ends up fighting against Commodus in the arena. The difference being in Fall of the Roman Empire, Rod Taylor? No. I know it was Sophie Loren was in it. Sophie Loren and Alec Guinness were in it, but I can't remember who it was that was the male lead. Alec Guinness was...
not Charlton Heston.
No, it wasn't Charlton Heston. Alec Guinness was Marcus Aurelius.
Gotcha.
And I think Christopher Plummer played the River Phoenix character, played Commodus. But again, what happened? It's like really, really weird and ironic that pretty much the same story, certainly the same setting, the same idea. Because Fall of the Roman Empire cost so much money and didn't do that well, that effectively killed the Hollywood epic for 30, 40 years. Then when the Gladiator comes along, it's big again.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the
problem. Historics.
Yeah,
it's
but
like
the thing is,
it's like when they did, what you call it? You had the greatest story that was ever told with Charlton Heston, right? And then they did later on, I think it was trying to remember the director's name. Directed Alien. Did
Scott.
a remake? Yeah, Ridley Scott did a remake of it, I think. You know. He called it Exodus, I think he called it.
No, what's Richard Burton either, PJ? Oh.
It's going to bug you all night now, isn't it?
Yes. It was one of these.
He's typing it in.
I am indeed. But it was one of these that was Stephen Boyd, Sophie Loren and Stephen Boyd. So not a name that
Stephen Boyd.
Yeah, not a name immediately comes from. He was another of the sort of relatively leading men of the 50s and 60s. I mean, that was 1964. So Gladiator, the 90s. So about 30-year difference.
Well,
Richard Burton was in Cleopatra, I think. Lots of people in Cleopatra.
I prefer Carry Cleo myself.
Well, Roddy Bloody McDowell was in Cleopatra.
He was in Planet of the Apes at the same time.
Exactly. I think Roddy McDowell played Octavian, otherwise known as Augustus.
Joys, the joys.
But yeah, I mean, I'd say you're right. I mean, I think the problem is that there's a lot of a lot of reasons, or several reasons, I think, why movies and TV these days don't seem to be particularly well. And part of it is that it's remake after remake after remake.
Mm-hmm.
And we've seen it once.
You've seen it twice.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. You've seen it, but you've seen it, and you said, and you've seen it, and it's it's got a charm, and it's got a lot of the charm for a lot of the Disney ones is in some ways because they do a bit of stereotyping, and it's what it is. It's most of the Disney cartoon movies are musical.
Yeah, because
all that they've got music in them.
Back then, Disney had a lot of magic. These days, Disney's run out of magic.
Yeah, I think they have. Good God.
Well, what's good God?
George Cole was in Cleopatra.
Was he?
Yes. Not only that, he's 5th down on the list. I've got it pulled up here. You got Taylor, Burton, and Harrison at the top. Then someone called Pamela Brown. Then George Cole's the 5th name down on there on the list. Martin Landau was in it. Bloody hell! Yeah,
Martin Landau was in it.
I knew Francesca Annis was in it.
Oh yeah, he played Fabulous.
Which one did you think James Mason was in, PJ? Was that For the Roman Empire? I'm not sure he was in Cleopatra.
Well, Cleopatra did have an all-star cast, and also apparently trivia. They were going to film it over here, and they built the sets for it, but it ended up in Carry On Cleo instead.
Wow.
Yeah. Because Pinewood went, well, what a waste that was.
Cost a lot of money.
Yep, so they shoved it in Carry On Cleo.
Michael Alderman Cicero. Good grief. Richard O'Sullivan was in it as Ptolemy, the Pharaoh. Wow. I think I vaguely remember that now. But yeah, there's a few names in that one. Back to the Fall of the Roman Empire, because I'm not sure. I think
no sign of a certain actress. A certain actress was in it who claims she's an old action hero.
I was about to say no. Cleopatra was not played by Jennifer Lawrence, but obviously was an action movie.
No, I'm talking about Jennifer Lawrence playing a bit part. No way Jennifer Lawrence to get the part as Cleopatra.
No, she's on colour.
No, she'll have a punch up with Elizabeth Taylor to get that part.
I'm not going to go any further with that. Yes, James Mason was in Fall of the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
PJ. He was,
what an actor James Mason was, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, Christopher Plummer was Commodus, yep. Anthony Quayle. Omar Sharif. Good grief.
Omar Sharif.
Yeah, Omar Sharif. Again, you look down, Andrew Keir again. Again, you look down it and you look down these and yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're never going to hear the likes of Omar Sharif again, are you?
No, probably not.
But can we just bring up one actor I do like? James Mason.
Yeah.
The guy who played Rommel.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, twice.
I mean, he had
he had one of those presents, about him.
Yeah.
Especially in North by Northwest. And I always got him mixed up with Richard Burton.
I can see that, to be quite honest. You know, it's
Longest
similar.
Day and the Desert Fox. No, PJ, he wasn't in the Longest Day. He was the Desert Fox, but he wasn't in the Longest Day. He didn't play Rommel in the Longest Day because they tried to get him in it, but he said no. It was another thing with Richard Burton. I think it was like a 5-minute cameo. James Mason.
Yeah, going back a long way, doesn't he?
No, James Mason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
really what?
Okay, he's going to be cancelled. He was in Genghis Khan. He must
Was
have
he?
been playing. Apparently, yep.
I thought.
No, he wasn't Genghis Khan. He was in Genghis Khan. Yes, Marion Morrison was.
I thought John Wayne was Genghis Khan.
Yeah, John Wayne was Genghis Khan.
But why are you saying Genghis?
Genghis, however you pronounce it.
Genghis Khan.
He was in Genghis Khan as well, so he's presumably yellow faced up as well.
Yellow faced up. I think I couldn't tell the difference.
Or yeah, well, not yellow, as the case may be. Yeah.
Well,
blimey, he was in Jesus of Nazareth as well.
Jesus of Nazareth. Is that the one with Robert Powell?
Yep. Oh, that's the other thing. He was in Salem's Lot. He was the Renfield character in Renfield, it was Isaac of York in Ivanhoe. Probably my favourite Ivanhoe version.
We're still talking about James Mason here, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't he play Captain Nemo once?
I think he did, yeah.
So he was in a Disney movie.
Assuming it was a Disney film, yeah, but
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Yeah, assuming it was a Disney. I don't know if there have been any other versions of that film.
Yeah, he was in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea because he did play Captain Nemo.
Yeah, 1954. Prince Valiant, Desert Rats in the 50s. Oh, he also played Napoleon, apparently.
Well, he was a fantastic actor for his time.
He was. He was.
Especially if he was from Huddersfield.
Huddersfield, like.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have the accent, did he? Hey, Tadaku.
Hey, man.
God, are we running out of things to say, Colin?
Probably.
Oh, God, I think next time we should write a script, shouldn't we? I'm prepared.
I recognise that.
What are you looking at?
One of his films was based on a Dennis Wheatley novel. He was in The Eunuch of Istanbul, which is based on Dennis Wheatley. One of his war thriller ones rather than the occult ones, which is probably better known.
Well, sent you a private message, Colin. Frankly, I've run out of ideas to say, really.
Yeah, it's
what a show this has been.
Well, it's one of those things, and it sometimes happens. Sometimes there's nothing much. If nothing much is going on,
well, we have been off the air for a long while.
Well, nothing much is going on that doesn't sort of veer over into quite political. That we really don't want to. We're not a political. We're not a politics.
Yes, he was fantastic in Journey of the Center of the Earth and all.
Yeah.
Well, frankly, we don't. So I want to talk about politics because it's just all codswallop.
Yeah.
That's why I've given up voting. But next week I will be popping up to London on a Wednesday because I want to see what the procedures are going on with the coronation that's supposed to be happening in 2 weeks.
Well, how do I say it's supposed to be happening? I kind of think it's
going to happen, but when I say supposed to be happening, you just never know. They could cancel it at the last minute.
Wow. Yeah.
Charles got nervous. Oh, God. Mm-hmm. You sound you're tired.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, everyone, Colin's tired because he's been busy today.
Colin's tired because he's been out having his brain and learning. He likes learning, but that's not using his brain too much. It means he has to get up in the morning.
Yes, he's got to get up early in the mornings.
But then again, next show, we'll have a panel on. We can make them do all the hard work and heavy lifting.
Yeah, we can bugger off and leave them to it.
Yeah, we can let them do the heavy lifting. We can just chime in occasionally when we feel like it.
Well, next week's unplugged, so
yeah.
Just turn that off for a minute. So, shall we start wrapping up, Colin?
Yeah.
No, it's not monkey next week, PJ. It's the end of the month. You take care, Wendy. You and Darren have a great evening. So, as you know, you'll find me, Mr. A.W.K, at Twitter and also on the FFSI Twitter channel for those people who are brand new to this, attending this. We tried to do a proper ending last week, didn't we? Not last week, but the last time. But we figured out a new way. But we did have a segment planned for tonight if anyone mentioned history. Well, mentioned something about history, because I was going to wind up Colin with this. It was going to be Colin talking 20 minutes.
The challenge being limit me to 20 minutes.
Yeah. But I didn't get enough time to do the countdown timer. But anyway, Colin, do I hear background music?
You do now.
Well, anyway, it's time to say our goodbyes, isn't it, Colin?
I'm not sure. Hold on a second. We got... Yeah, I guess it is. We're getting that way.
Yeah, the funny thing is we've got a countdown clock to show us how long we've got until we close out. Sadaku's in Twitter jail again. Don't worry, Sadaku, they'll break you out. So, we'll be back next week, won't we, Colin? With Unplug number 8, which has been going for such a long time. So, as we've got 6 seconds, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from her.
Funny. Take care, everybody. Have a good one.